We are expecting to learn new details today in the D.C. midair crash over the Potomac River. On the night of January 29th, an American Airlines jet colliding with a Black Hawk helicopter, killing all 67 people on board both aircraft. Since then, some aviation experts are raising the question, could the helicopter crew have had their eyes on a different incoming jet, completely missing the one that struck them? Now, the Washington Post is analyzing the theory. They made a 3D model using flight data and air control transmissions. They also conducted interviews with former Black Hawk pilots to recreate the view the crew likely had inside the cockpit. Their examination shows the crew could have confused two jets when the tower first warned of the incoming air traffic. Meanwhile, in the weeks since that crash, the NTSB has been analyzing flight data and damage to determine how this ever happened. NewsNation's Libbey Dean joining us right now live from Washington, D.C. with the latest. Obviously, Libbey, a lot of people, a lot of Americans are shocked to find out how common it was for these military aircraft to be operating so close to commercial jets. But what are we expecting to learn today?
Yeah, and Americans incredibly shocked to learn just how close we've had these close calls, really, at DCA between helicopters and aircrafts. But of course, it's been nearly 2 weeks since we saw that crash, that midair collision happen just behind me here over the Potomac River, the helicopter and the passenger plane. This being the most deadly aircraft collision in nearly 2 decades. But today we're hoping for more answers during this press conference that's going to be held by the National Transportation Safety Board. That press conference is going to be this afternoon at 2 p.m. Now, of course, what we know, as you mentioned, Adrian, all 67 victims have been identified. Also, all of the debris and these 2 aircrafts have been recovered from behind me from the Potomac River since this collision happened. Now, there's a chance during this press conference that investigators reveal what was said in the final moments from the cockpit of the plane and then the cockpit of the helicopter as well. That audio, of course, contained in the black boxes of these aircrafts. Now, if that is the case, if we do get more details from that, we wouldn't hear the exact audio from those black boxes. Instead, we would get transcripts. That's for investigators there. Now, we also know that investigators have interviewed the air traffic controllers working at the time of the collision, so we could hear more about those interviews as well. But Adrian, I remember when I covered the crash right when this happened, we rushed to the airport to get the details to our viewers, and I asked Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, why this happened. What are the details? How did this helicopter not see this aircraft in the air right over the jetway? And what he said was actually that the helicopter was aware of the aircraft, but the passenger plane wasn't aware of the helicopter. So more details like that today we could get during this press conference that's going to be happening here in D.C. But a lot of questions and a lot of Americans searching for answers, given 67 people died during this absolutely tragic event nearly 2 weeks ago. Adrian?
Yeah, one of the highest death counts of any in-air collision that we've seen in quite some time. Libbey Dean, thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.